Hello, my Leo peoples, Leo energy people. Uh, so, good morning, apparently, for me. You'll probably be getting this around the afternoon, making this discussion a little irrelevant, but god damn it, I'm gonna say mouth words with my lip flaps. So, you have to be someone who identifies with the Leo strand of energy for this to hit more home with you. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to have only the Leo, right? It doesn't mean that at all. All it simply means is that you have a strong energy of Leo. So they always say Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Like that is, like the end all be all, and it's not. You have a stellium in a certain house, right? Which would be, sorry, which would be you could have a stellium in your fifth house because that's the house of Leo, or you could have, there's a strong placement in your fifth house. You could have just multiple placements in Leo. Like, okay, let's say you have one placement in Leo, all right, but it's in your Venus, right? It's love and money. That's it's Venus. Okay, but for some reason, it's like only Leo readings really do you justice. And you say, well, I have like 4 placements in Capricorn, but for some reason, this Leo readings just hit right for me. And that's because you could have a very strong aspect in the placement that you have in Leo. Like I have a very strong Venus Moon aspect where I have a Leo Venus and a Taurus Moon, and they aspect each other so strongly, and it's a very positive one, right? So it's like my aspects is like in the 600s, which is a lot. It's a very high. So basically, that makes me very optimistic, able to see the good things in everything. It's a gift as much as it is a curse. The whole thing. Every gift is a curse. Every weakness is a strength. It's just how it goes. Anyway, this will be for the 24th to June 15th, and I know the 24th is past, but don't give a shit. It's still going to be the energy that's going on around this time. It means it could have already happened or it will happen. Whatever. It's going to be individual to your story, your life. We're going to be looking at the situation. We're going to be looking at the situation. Obstacles in the situation. Things that could help with the situation. What you can expect out of the situation. And then my favorite part is what you don't see coming, what you don't know will come out of all this. Isn't that nice? How you been barbecuing lately? Not in this weather, right? Had a pizza. It's good. Here are your cards. Oh, snap. Okay. It's a big deal. It's a big thing. Very interesting. Okay. Very interesting. So, let me just say this outright. Um, what you're dealing with is very much a. This is on a. This is on a universal scale. Okay, so that means when I say this, right? When I say this, it's that the universe has a very big play in what's going on in your life. Meaning, the universe is like, okay, this must change, right? It's what some people would say. Oh, your time is up, or your time is now, or your luck or chance. I don't believe in any of that shit. I don't believe in luck or chance or coincidence. It's not. It's not. It's not a fucking thing. It's just not a thing. It's a thing if you have a very sciencey, logical brain, and so you just say it's just chance, but it's not. It's just not a thing, man. Sorry to burst your fucking bubble, whatever. It's just not a thing. Um. So there is a. Let's find out a little more. So there is a grand transformation going on in your life within yourself. So at this time, you could be dealing with a lot of epiphanies. You could be dealing with a lot of realizations, a lot of awakenings. And I personally, because I have strong connections in Leo, cannot deny that, nor would I want to. I can tell you outright that is very much a thing that's going on right now. Is that there is a grand I can't think of the word, melting away. I want to say slinking away. It just sounds right. Slinking away. It's just slunking off of you, of who you used to be, how you deal with situations. And this is on like a lot of levels. This is like on a, how would you approach this situation? That's a minimum situation. And how would you approach a major situation? And you'd find that they're different for both. So it's like you're very you could be scared, you could be nervous, you could be anxious right now, you could be worried, concerned, you could really have some you could have some situations going on within yourself. You could be very worried. Like I said, it's just a very shaky ground that you're not quite you're not sure of. And it could be scary to know things completely differently than they used to be. Know that you're different. It'd be very difficult. Now, what is an obstacle during this time is you need to get out of your head. It's very hard to do because you are when you're in a place of fear or worry, or there's something that you're not sure, you're like, I don't know how to deal with that. The first place you go normally for most people is you go to the mind. The mind is the epicenter of security. It is the place where it's like, it's where you go to defend. It's where you go to analyze. It's where you go to break things down to make things more comfortable for yourself and to feel secure and safe, right? But there's an obstacle here of resisting this change, and what you're doing is you've been hurt before. You've been put in a very shaky situation before. Doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship. Those are big ones that do that. But I'm not getting a big feel of relationships here. There's not a big feeling of that. It feels very much more like you've been put in multiple situations where betrayal was kind of on the menu. People just kind of throwing you under the metaphorical bus. And especially when you go through an awakening anyway, that shit happens. It happens. The things around you crumble and they fall away, and there's nothing there to protect you or save you. I went through a big one recently. Everything failed. Everything you went to go and attempt to do, failure. Everything that you thought about doing, it eventually gets to that point where it's like, okay, the thoughts sound good. Then the execution, and then it falls through. That happens so many times in that exact way. Then you think, okay, the thought is sound. Then the execution fails. Right? And then that happens so many times where you just get to the point of like, well, the thought sounds good. And then you don't do anything about it because you know it's going to fail. And then everything fails, right? Your thoughts are fails. They're just failures. It just crumbles in that way. Eventually everything melts away, and then you're stuck with a different version of you. A better version of you, of course. During the time, though, it can be terrifying, and it feels very much like Leo energy people out there are going through this. Because you have big honcho, big mama jamba cards that tell me that there's a huge awakening that you're going through. Now, what can assist you in all this? It very much goes to the whole thing of staying out of your mind. During this time, right, air energy is not your friend. That means mental energy is not your friend. That means being in your head and is your worst nightmare. Don't do it. So people often take Earth for granted, Earth energy for granted. They do, but that's kind of the nature of the energy. Is that you don't think about it. It's just always there. It's like, well, why even think about it? Who cares? Yeah, you'll care when you don't have anything else. You'll care when that's the only thing that you do have. You'll care when that's the one thing that you can rely on. So that's what you are being called to focus on, is not your feelings, and not your thought babies, not your little thought babies. They're babies that are mean and they will get you. They're cute though. Most babies are cute. Those thought babies are mean though, even though they're cute. You don't want that. So focus on things that you can see with your eyes, right? That are concrete. Because everything going on in your emotional world and your mental world is kind of crumbling, right? So what you want is you want stability. You want, okay, I know I like to write. Okay, I know I like to play b-ball. I know I like to sing. I know I like to. These are the things. These are the things that you need to focus on, the concrete, what you do have. And I guess you should know that I reckon I like you a little bit because this video is going over, but what are you going to do? You know, it's kind of a big deal what's going on with you right now. So what you can expect to get out of all this is a great reward. There will be rewards for your efforts. And they'll come rather quickly. That's just a minimum of that. But what I feel is like that you'll get rewards almost instantly. It's seemingly because everything else is crumbling and failing or whatever. But if you focus on your material world, on your materials, your security, your stability, moolah, your home, car, whatever. These are 3D things I'm speaking of here. You focus on that stuff. And what you don't see coming, which is my favorite part, it is the occulta, it is the hidden, it is what you don't know. Is that this is all happening to you, and this is all changing for you because it is your time, and because it must. So, what you don't see is how much the universe is backing you on this energy within itself. It's backing you big time. So everything seems like it's crumbling and whatnot, but it's only to make you aware of the much better you that was always there that you just didn't quite shed light on too much. So the universe is backing you in this. Focus on the 3D stuff. That's as simple as I can put it. And there's no better friend than the universe. I promise you that. Alright. Thank you. That's enough. Away.